Hi, this is Robert Kane, N4IXT. In this presentation, we're going to look at using an RTL-SDR dongle to receive a wide variety of radio transmissions on an Android device using the SDRTouch software. A little about me. My name is Robert Kane. I am an amateur radio operator and have been since 1999, holding the extra class license. I'm also an ARRL Life member and active in several of my local radio clubs. Professionally, I'm the owner of Arcane Training and Consulting, where I work as a trainer in the Microsoft IT space. You can come check me out at arcanecode.me if you want to learn more about those aspects of my life. So, what do we need in order to achieve our goal of receiving radio signals on our Android device? Well, the first thing we're going to need is an RTL-SDR dongle. SDR stands for Software Defined Radio. This is a receiver that we can use to pick up radio signals. The Android device will do most of the processing to decode those raw radio signals. The RTL in the name comes from the chipset. If you look here on the image, it says RTL2832U. That's the chipset that is being used within our little dongle. Where do we get one? Well, it's pretty straightforward. Amazon. You can get everything on Amazon. Here you can see the RTL-SDR dongle is available for just $26 US. And this model comes with some extra little rabbit ear antennas, a base, a tripod, and various other pieces. You can get it at bit.ly/RTLSDR, and that gives a shortcut to this. Also note that you can buy just the dongle itself without all the accessories for just $20. So what else do you need? Well, obviously you need an Android tablet. You want one that's running at least Android version 6 or later. This is the model I'm using in my video. It's available for just $100. Alternatively, I picked up a Samsung Tab E at my local used computer store for just 60 bucks. In addition to using a tablet, you could also use an Android phone. Now, regardless of which tablet or phone you go with, another critical piece is the on-the-go cable, or OTG. Shown here, the OTG allows you to plug the SDR dongle into the cable and then plug the other end into your tablet. Now, they make various kinds, some with and some without a power cord. You can see here this has the second power cord that will just plug into a standard USB port. I highly recommend getting one that has the extra cable. If you don't have the external power cable, it will suck down the battery of your tablet very quickly. In addition, some devices don't have enough battery power to supply what the RTL-SDR dongle needs. In addition to using a powered wall port, you can also use an external battery pack to power the RTL-SDR dongle. Once you have the dongle and your tablet, you're going to need an antenna to pick up signals. Now, the model I showed you comes with rabbit ears that extend out, a little base, and a tripod to put it on. Of course, if you have better antennas, use them. This is an old scanner antenna I picked up at Radio Shack like 20 years ago, but it still works just fine. You can see I have it on a pole. The little white things sticking out are the zip ties. They wave nicely in the breeze so I can kind of tell where the wind's coming from. If you want to get into some of the HF bands and you want something nice and portable, then I'd suggest picking up a couple of roll-up antennas. These are primarily designed for listening to shortwave radio stations, and they just clip on to the rabbit ears that came with the RTL-SDR dongle. These run about $7 a piece, and you simply clip them onto the antenna and roll them out to the appropriate length for the frequency you're trying to listen to. Of course, if you're a ham radio operator, you probably have antennas all over the place. This is one I've used several times. It's the MFJ1699T. I like it because not only can I use it with my SDR receiver, I can also use it to transmit with when I'm operating in the field using either my ICOM 706 or my Yaesu FT817. Of course, if you have another antenna already up, such as a dipole or a large Yagi antenna, certainly plug those into your RTL-SDR dongle because they'll work great. Now, before I move on to the software, I just want to talk about keeping your gear safe. It's something that's kind of overlooked a lot in these videos. I found a great solution. At my local big box mart, I found a little inexpensive Plano tackle box back in the fishing section. This was under $7, and it nicely holds everything that I need. If I open it up, you see I have a nice slot for the RTL-SDR dongle itself, some cables, some adapters, and the on-the-go cable. On the right, I have the base plus my 2 roll-up antennas. Now, I did have to make one modification. In order to fit the longer rabbit ear style antennas in, I had to cut a slot in the very, very back. Just used a pocket knife. It took less than a minute to get it cut out. So it's nothing to worry about, and it made this solution work well. Without further ado, let's jump into some demos and see how to purchase and install SDRTouch on the Android platform. To get the RTL-SDR dongle working on our Android device, there's a couple of steps we have to go through. First, we need to install the driver. You can see here I've gone to the Google Play Store and I've done a search for SDR, and I'm going to take the RTL2832U driver. When it comes up, I'll simply go over and tap on Install. Note the message, this app may not be optimized for your device. I've gotten that on several devices and it's worked fine on all of them. Okay, this is now done. Let's go back to our search screen. The next piece of software we need to install is SDRTouch itself. So we'll click on it, and we'll come down and click on Install. It tells you it needs access to your photos and media. That's because the software has the ability to record the radio transmissions. We'll just click Accept. All right, there's one more thing we're going to want. SDRTouch has some nice features. However, some of them won't be unlocked until you get the SDRTouch key. If you just want to play with the software, the free version will give you enough of an idea of how it works and is it going to work for you. So I highly advise that the first time you do this, you install the software, play with it, make sure that it actually works with your particular RTL-SDR dongle. For me, I know this works, so I'm going to come down here to the SDRTouch key. Now, I've already purchased this. It's about $10 US. So all I have to do is install it. Obviously, if you haven't purchased this yet, you'll need to come in and to authorize the purchase to the Google Play Store. And we're going to let it go through the install process. All right, with that done, I'm going to go back to my home screen now. And you can see I have my 3 new pieces of software. So let me pause this a moment while I go plug in the dongle now. So when I plug in my dongle, a message pops up and asks, do I want to automatically open the RTL USB driver when it's connected? And we're going to say use by default, so it'll quit asking me. And we're going to click OK. And let me hold the device up to the microphone so you can hear it. Unfortunately, the software I'm using doesn't support audio. So let's set the squelch by clicking on the squelch button. And now you can see I've got the squelch set, and I can click to move it up, move it down. And let's jump to a frequency that we actually want to test. How about we use the national weather frequency? For my area, it's 162550, so I'm going to click jump. And on the frequency, I'm going to click here at the end because we have to clean this out. We'll just backspace out, and we'll do 162.550. And we'll check OK. And come up and click Set.
Saturday, mostly sunny. Highs in the mid-70s.
Cool. All right, let's go over here and click on Spectrum so we can actually see a spectrum display. Now, the spectrum is one of the features that you get when you actually do the purchase. Let me go click on Stop, just so we can pause this output a moment. And we'll show some of the other features. One of the things we can do is save our frequencies, and we can categorize them. So next, let's go save this frequency in our frequency list. We should probably organize it into categories. So we're going to come up, we're going to tap on the category. We're going to say Add New Category. And I'm going to call this Weather. And we'll get rid of this. There we go. And now I can come click on OK or tap OK if you're not using a keyboard. Now that I have the weather category, I can come over and we'll add it to the list under it. And we'll just call this maybe WX for weather. And this happens to be the number 7 of the weather frequency. So we'll put WX7. I also want you to note that even though we're on 162.550, it actually rounds us up when it goes to give these presets. We want to fix that. And we're going to enter in 550. And we kind of instinctively know this is FM, so I don't really need the FM piece. So I'm just going to delete that out. And when we're done, we'll tap OK. And so now I have this saved in here. Now, if we want to add another one, we can jump to a different frequency. How about 162, I believe 525 is another one. So we'll click Set. And we'll turn it on just to make sure.
Friday, partly cloudy with a 20% chance of rain showers.
All right. I'm going to go stop him. And we're going to add him to the list. And we'll make sure we update this to 525. We'll get rid of the FM. And we'll come back here to the front. And we'll type in WX, and I believe this is 6. And we can click OK. So that gives us 2 frequencies in our list. Okay, so now that I have this going, I can click Scan, and you can see it jumped over to 550. If I hit Scan again, it now jumps to 525. So if I had multiple frequencies, it would scan. Now let's go look at this when I don't have something I'm going to find on every single frequency. Let's go enter a few of our local ham radio things. So I'll stop him. And then I'm going to come over here to categories. And we're going to add a new category. So add new category. And we'll go get rid of this. And we're going to type in ham. That works. And we'll tap on the OK. And now I need to set the frequency. So I'm going to click Jump. And our new frequency, let's make him 146.980, which is one of our local repeaters. And we'll click Set. And if I turn it on, yep, just sounds like static. So I'm going to click up here on the squelch. Let's see if we can't squelch him out. There, I've discovered sometimes you have to tap squelch off and on again to get the squelch to kick in. So now this is not going to open up until the signal level exceeds what we've set our squelch to. All right, so now I can come over and we'll hit plus. And this happens to be our W4 SHL repeater. And I need to go fix this because it's rounded it up again. And we'll get rid of FM because we know that our repeaters are all FM. And we'll click OK. Now I can move the current frequency around by holding down my finger and dragging it. You can see I moved left, moved right. I can jump immediately to a frequency if I see something I like. Let me tap on that band there around 147, looks like 147.12. Okay, so now I've just jumped over there. I can hold it down and right up where the numbers are, right in this area, and I can expand and contract my bandwidth. So that gives me a couple of different options as far as navigating goes, in addition to be able to just clicking on the jump button and then jumping to a specific frequency. Looks like we had something over here, and again we would adjust our squelch accordingly. So let's now go enter another frequency that we can go to. We're going to jump, and we'll take this to 146 dot, and we'll go, let's go to the simplex frequency, 520. And we'll click set. And now with it on our simplex frequency, we'll add this to our list. So we'll click on plus, and we'll type in simplex. And we'll get rid of FM and make it 5.2. And we'll click OK. So now you can see I have something set up that has the simplex frequency. And let's go click on scan. And you can see it's jumping back and forth between these frequencies. So let me grab my little radio, and you're going to watch this capture here when I make a transmission. This is N4IXT testing. N4IXT I am testing, and everybody can see now my display where it is capturing my signal and displaying it. Okay, that worked out pretty well. You got to see the signal coming in and being captured. And of course it goes right back to scanning, so we'll turn scanning off. Just like with other pieces of software, you can use this to capture things throughout the radio spectrum. If you go into gains, you can set your gain control. Now, I have it set to automatic gain control, but you can disable that and then use the scroll bar to adjust it. So let's say you would like to go down into the HF bands below 25 megahertz. Well, to do that, we need to set a couple of different things. First, I'm going to pause the output, and we're going to come down here. We're going to go to Preferences, and we need to change our direct sampling mode, and we need to go to Q branch. This is what's going to kick in the up converter that's built into the dongle and allow us to go into these lower, below 25 megahertz frequencies. So we'll click here, and then we're going to click on Jump, and we're going to jump on down here. We'll back him up, get rid of him. And we're going to pick, how about we go down to the 40 meter band? I don't know that we're going to hear much. 7.150. We'll click set. And then we'll come up here. And we're going to change from FM to lower sideband. Sometimes the software figures out that you're changing bands and will change the mode. Sometimes it doesn't. So we're going to come up and we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on the play button. Now, one of the things I can do, in addition to swiping left and right, I can expand my band scale. So if I'm going to hold down two fingers and drag them wider, you can see I have now increased the band that I am showing here on the display. All right, well, that's pretty good. I can jump around as before. And there we go. That was just a quick sample of how to change into the HF bands. When I'm done and I want to return, I'm going to have to come back down here, go to my preferences, go back into direct sampling, disable it, and return. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning how to use your RTL-SDR dongle with your Android device via the SDRTouch software. If you did, how about giving me a like and sharing with your fellow radio enthusiasts? If you have any questions, just email me, n4ixt@outlook.com, or follow me on Twitter @n4ixt. You can find everything I do via my blog at arcanecode.me. Thanks for watching.